Hello, everybody. This is Frankie Day Models. Okay, for this Tuesday evening for you, I got video number one. On a finish up, got started to build a long time ago, about a year or two ago. This is my second rodeo on the Trumpeter 148 scale SA-16B Albatross. I was going to change the paint schedule to the Coast Guard colors, which is all white with the red flashing on there. But I got no decals for it. I tried the internet all over the place. I cannot find 148 scale decals with that paint schedule. So that was the first option. So, well, what are you going to do now, Frank? You go ahead and do that. You're going to have to probably get yourself some numeral letters in black to put them on there like I did to one of my kits did before. Or just go ahead and make this thing the Korean War version and save the other paint schedules for the next one when he starts to make 148 scale decals for this kit. There's one 144 scale and 172 scale all over the place out there. Go all over the place. Then you got one 148 scale decal sheet. That's an Argentina Navy livery. No U.S. Coast Guard or Navy. The second option, I was going to go ahead and make this thing all seaplane gray with a white upper plating. But I'm going to go ahead and make this the Korean War version. Okay, you'll like it when I get finished with it. Okay, as you can see, this thing took a horrible crash. I'd say probably about 7 months ago, 7 or 8 months ago. Sitting over there where my LB1 light chip is at, which I'll start back on the fall when it starts getting cold outside. Ain't going nowhere. You're sitting over there, and somehow I got up. I must have tipped the wing, and whew, you guessed it, right on the floor. It broke exactly where it was put together. There was no broken plastic that was busted. Actually, literally broke. It broke exactly how it was put together. And remarkably enough, the way it hit when it hit the ground like it did, it was more or less didn't break the interior details at all of this thing. I was very amazed about that. Glass that popped out. Just what happened was the fuselage broke in half on the forward section, boosted up a couple pilot seat. I had there was no problem there. Other than that, it put together pretty well after that, so I had no problems. So I got it back together again a couple days ago, and I refilled it. Now I primed it with white primer. Okay, here it is right here, as you can see all the time. I got the tips all painted. Using International Yellow. I'm going to go ahead and mask off the tips, mask off the fuselage band where the yellow's at. And I'm going to go ahead and airbrush my special lacquer aluminum coat on this thing. Now I notice on the natural metal versions of these albatrosses, they were on a very shiny level, shiny metal. They were more like oxidized. I guess they use an oxidized aluminum on there. We got one down here at the Air Force Base Museum. I think it's called Chuck's Revenge. It's all painted Air Force gray color. And I've seen a lot of these back when I was a boy growing up. Yeah, VA 145 out of the same point in the Philippines. They use these a lot. They're actually all overall dark sea blue back then. The HU-16B, which is redesignated from the SA-16B Albatross, came out probably 1947. Another aircraft that came out late after the war. But they use them anyway. The Albatross came out by 1944-45. It was descended from the Mallard. And when they came out, the Grumman Aircraft Company released it at that time. Uh, war was at the end. Like the Bearcat, like the Sky Raider, and a lot of other ones. There were flying boats were starting to become obsolete. They couldn't use them anymore. But the Air Force picked up on these a lot. That's what saved the Albatross was the Air Force. They used them for Dumbo missions, picking up down flyers during the Korean War out in the Japanese Sea. And they picked them all the time out there. And they actually were a mainstay. The Navy picked up on them. The Coast Guard used them. Other countries used them. They found out these things ain't obsolete at all. These things were sticking from the Coast Guard to Naval Registry and the Air Force Registry as late as 1967, 68. They were slowing. They stopped using them, and they became obsolete. And a lot of them were bought by private collectors, and a lot of them are using them as homes. Oh yes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a lot of this. You can make one heck of a home out of this thing. You can probably put about 5, 6, 7, 8 people in very comfortably with a plane this size. And a lot of them use them as utility planes to shuttle people around. For private organizations use them, and a lot of them in museums. This right here is the A model, the first one that came out. The A model had a lot shorter wingspan than that of the B. I guess with a shorter wingspan, they almost had that of the B-26 Marauder. They had everything was treated in a very fast way, like a fighter plane tactic. You had to use a lot of throttle in these things. They're very good flying boats. They fly very well. But with a shorter wing, it takes a lot of thrust. In other words, you'll stall around 90 knots, you'd have it. You got to drop your flaps all the way down to it full. And talking about flaps, I guess one of my wing flaps came off. You weren't glued anyway. I'm going to have these that lowered. So this is a pretty nice airplane. Monaghan has one. They still, I don't know if it's in circulation anymore, but it's a nice kit. It really is. It came out in 1957. Every kid in the block had one of those. Had operating landing gear and everything. So next to do this thing is I'll just go ahead and mask off everything that's yellow. Nice and crisp and sharp. Here, brush my aluminum on there. Let it dry. Done the icer boots and decal it. She's done. This trumpeter kit's pretty detailed. They run about. I paid $99 for this one. I bought this at Smitty's Hobby Shop. They run now eBay about $130 to $140. You can get them there. They're all over the place there. They got one each stacks, build it, goes get it very easily. No problem. Take your time. Opens up a lot of doors too. Because it's a big airplane and a big model. You can actually put LEDs in this thing. It's big enough. You can actually make some kind of a diorama. Track the landing gear, have it on a base out there, have a guy out there trying to get in who's been out there, a shipwrecked sailor or downed airman. Or you got to have it on a tarmac. Whatever section you may choose. It makes a very good display piece. There's a couple of them on eBay I've seen. They've done very good jobs on them. Like I said earlier in the video, this is my second rodeo on this thing. The first one I did, actually one of my first YouTube presentations ever since I joined YouTube almost about 8-9 years ago. And I had that, started building that way before I got into YouTube. Matter of fact, I finished it up on YouTube. It came out pretty decent. So this is my second rodeo with the Albatross. I was going to paint it a different paint schedule, but so what the hey. Until I get the right decals for it, I may buy another. But anyway, it's a nice model. Goes together very well. No fit issues at all. The only options of the kit is delivery. What I'm using here is during the Korean War. That's paint schedule on me painting this. The other deliveries from Taiwan. Dark seaplane gray. What looks like some kind of a light gray underneath it. To me, that's not very colorful, not very good. That doesn't look Albatross. This is Albatross. Because they started out this color delivery before the Coast Guard and Navy got a hold of it. So I got it all primed up, got the yellow on there, and I'm going to have fun on this thing. Get it all painted. I'm going to start painting on tonight. Probably have another video in a couple of days on it. Have this thing finished up, hanging up yonder in my back room back there. Okay. I've been rooting around a lot. I ran this old job. I bought this FW Woolworths about 60-something years ago. This is an old Frog B25 Mitchell. Believe it or not, I opened up this kit today and looked at it for the first time in 60 years. And it's pretty accurate. Even got wash out on the wingtips. Nothing like that compared to the Airfix one or others, like the scale, even the monogram one. This guy definitely got a washout on the wingtips, as the real B25 does. Now these old Frog kits, they came out back in 1963. By the time the Beatles came out, 1963, Frog, Airlines, and Airfix came out. The old English Invasion came out. Man, it was welcome. We loved these things. I couldn't get enough of these jobs. I think I paid, what? 69 cents. FW Woolworths. 69 cents. And what's so good about these kits is that they fold out as a working tray. Yeah. You can take parts, put it aside, work them there, you get done, close them up. That's what I like about these Airlines kits. I can figure, oh yeah, this is like a little working tray. See how it folds out real good? You can work on it. Here's the contents. It's folded in gray plastic. But it's a real nice kit. Goes together very well. I can tell with this because with its design. It's even got retractable landing gear. This thing, I looked at it. So that's about what I got going on. I don't know what I'm getting on that B25. I just dug it out to look at it. You never know. Let me fire that thing up. I do paint. It's going to be the Mitchell Royal Air Force. It's not going to be no Army Air Force. It's going to be exactly what it's tended to out of this kit. And the decals are excellent. They're real good. I think I sprayed some decal bonder on too today, just to make quite sure. Okay, that's about it for the Albatross. It with the B25 by Frog. So stay posted. I'll have another video or two of this thing here, probably in a day or two. So right now, it's yellow dry some more, and I'm going to go ahead and mask everything off. I'm going to give if all well works well, I'll go ahead and start painting it tonight. If not, I'll definitely do it tomorrow. So this is my second rodeo on the Trumpeter 148 scale SA-16B SA-16A Albatross. Now the B model, the wings come out about a little further, the tips a little further. But this is really a nice model. It's definitely an Albatross. No mistake about it. You find a place where you can put it, hang it up, leave it aloft, leave it on the ground to look at. It's a beautiful airplane. Okay, that's it for this. It for me. Make mama happy. Take care of little ones. Stay focused when you drive. Spend wisely. And beware of your surroundings, guys. Get yourself a model. It's starting to get cold outside. And we got a little ways to go till it really starts getting cold. So we got a few good warm days coming up. So enjoy those as much as you can because it's not going to stay there forever. And thank you very much for everybody for your wonderful, wonderful candor and wonderful views on my Bearcat I just finished yesterday. I got it neatly stored in my back there. My room's nice and safe. I ain't going to get hurt or harmed or anything. But thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for all that. And thank you, Mr. David Estrada. David Estrada, a fellow world fellow model builder, an excellent model builder. I think he's sending me in a 1/72nd scale Hasagawa B-47 Stratojet. Now that's one airplane I like to get my hands on. I think I've got a kit of that somewhere. I'm quite sure. I know darn well I do. I think it's in my stash in my big warehouse where I got all my stuff at. And last time I built a B-47 was back in 1955 when they made the box scale Revell one. Okay, so looking forward to that. And thank you, Fumble Thumbs, for those gifts you gave me. I will build them in your honor, dear sir. Enjoy that Bearcat that you got. You will love it. You will like it. If you run into trouble, give me a message. Give me a PM. Message, same thing. And I'll bail you out. You should have no trouble with that. Those kits were designed for little guys to build, too. No adult supervisory needed for that. This, yes. For the novice, I don't know. I think you have no problem building it. You may run into a few problems, but you probably need help too, so that's what we're all here for. Okay, I'm out of here. This is Frankie Day signing off again from Frankie Day Models. And say your prayers, guys. God bless you all. Love you fellas. Take care of yourself. And hang in there, boys. We'll be all right. Bye, guys. Take care. Love you fellas.